Welcome back to another Dota Basics video. In this video we're going to cover how to control your hero, how to cast spells, and hotkeys to do so. There are a variety of ways to control your hero and interact them with the map, and tons of settings that allow you to customize your controls in Dota 2, so let's go over some of the basics that you'll need to play right now. Once in game, you can select your hero by left-clicking on them with your mouse, pressing the hotkey you've assigned them to in the settings menu, or by click-dragging over your hero to select them. If you ever lose track of your hero, pressing your select hero hotkey 2 times will center them on your screen. You can also enable the setting where holding the Alt key will create a bright beacon over your hero if you ever find yourself losing track of them. If you want to see what another hero or unit has in skills, stats, health, or items, you can also left click on them to check their stats or abilities. You cannot control them afterwards, but you can see what they have in terms of stats and abilities in the same user interface as your hero. To move your hero once you have them selected, simply right click on the ground with your mouse to execute a move command. Once your hero reaches the destination you've chosen, they will be automatically issued a stop command which holds them in place. You can also right-click the minimap to issue a move command that way as well. If instead of right-clicking the ground you right-click an enemy hero, your hero will instead attack that hero if in range, or move until they are in range and begin attacking them. In this way, the right-click has 2 possible commands. It issues either a move command, or begins an attack command on an enemy when you want to attack them. If you right-click an allied hero or unit, it executes another type of move command that is more like following. When done, your hero will follow the targeted hero until the command is cancelled. In this way, your mouse can cover most commands without the need for a keyboard. However, there's a few mandatory hotkeys you'll need to use. We already covered the need for a select hero hotkey. This can be something simple like the 1 key on your keyboard, F1, or your spacebar. The other mandatory hotkeys are for the attack command and the stop command. The attack command is what happens when you right-click an enemy with your mouse, but you need to assign an attack command key because of a few extra uses which aren't easily done with just the mouse. Attack moving is one of these. It's where you tell your hero to walk to a certain point and attack the closest enemy that you detect along the way. To do an attack move, you press the attack key, often the A key on the keyboard, and you left-click on the ground where you want your hero to attack move towards. Your hero will move to that point and attack any enemies it encounters along the way. It is best used when chasing a hero through the jungle who you want to kill but keeps weaving in and out of vision. It's difficult to right-click them in those brief moments, but attack moving lets the game respond anytime you get vision. Attack moving is also useful if you have trouble clicking on a fast-moving hero. Remember that attack moving will always make your hero attack the closest enemy, which is sometimes a creep, so if there's a lot of units around, you might have to directly attack the hero you want to kill. The attack command is also important when denying allied creeps. To deny creep, it has to first be below 50% health, and then you simply press the A hotkey and then left-click the creep that you want to attack. If you're attacking an allied creep in this way and you get the last hit, it counts as a deny, an exclamation mark pops up, and your opponents get less experience and no attempt to get the gold. Now you might be confused why it's a left-click after the A hotkey, but that's because left-click is used to select a target for your action. So by pressing the A hotkey, the game wants to know, who am I attacking? You can also change a setting so that right-clicking allied creeps below 50% also issues an attack command if you wish to deny and don't want to have to bother pressing the A key. It's really up to you which one you prefer. The other important command is the stop command, which is used to cancel your hero's current actions. All heroes have animation times to attack or cast spells, and pressing the stop command will prevent your hero from following through on the spell or animation. This is important sometimes because you might change your mind on which target you want to use your ability on, or maybe you realize it's too late now, you want to cancel it, or maybe you even want to trick your opponent into making them think you're about to use your spell. Most players have the stop command on the S hotkey. Much like the attack command, both of these hotkeys should be on an easily reached place on your keyboard, because you're going to be using them a lot during a game. Now onto skill and item hotkeys. You'll naturally have 6 hotkeys for skill usage, 3 basic skills, 1 ultimate key, and 2 extra to cover the sub-abilities that some heroes use. Most players use Q, W, E, R with D and F for the sub-abilities, but you can change these to whatever you're comfortable with. To actually cast your spells, it first depends on how the skill functions. Some abilities activate simply by pressing the hotkey once, others work by pressing the hotkey and afterwards choosing a target by left-clicking the target. Some spells might let you click the ground to cast them, and others can only be cast on enemy heroes or allied heroes. If it's an area of effect skill or AoE spell, you'll likely see your reticle change when preparing to cast a spell to help you aim it correctly. If you aren't sure which way your ability works, you can also try your hero out in demo mode. I really recommend doing this for every new hero that you try, so that you don't have to figure it out during a real game. Simply find the hero you want to try on the Hero tab, and press the Demo Hero button to try out the skills against creeps, spawned units, or even a dummy target. Even 1 minute of this before the game starts is going to make a big difference. Ability hotkeys are pretty straightforward, but for items, things get a bit trickier because there's 6 item slots. I strongly recommend that you set up unique hotkeys for all 6 of your items, even if you aren't ready to use them all, since using keyboard hotkeys for items and skills will save you fractions of seconds that could keep you alive or get you a kill. At least 3 or more of these item hotkeys should be in easy to reach places on your keyboard or mouse that you can hit reliably. Every hero will use at least 3 active item slots in a game, and some heroes use all 6, so you will need and use all of them. The last important hotkeys to have set up are for control groups. This lets you set hotkeys for other units you control other than your hero. For myself, I have the 1 key set to select my hero, and the keys 2 and 3 available for hero hotkeys. So if I'm playing Beastmaster, I know that my summon boars will always be set to hotkey 2, and my hawk will always be hotkey 3. If I'm playing Phantom Lancer, I know that all my illusions are hotkeyed to 2 so that I can easily select them all and tell them to attack an enemy hero, and then select my hero afterwards. To set units to one of your setup hotkey groups, select the units you want to put in that group with either a click drag or hold shift and left click to add more to the group. Then once they're all selected, hold control and press the hotkey. This will set them to that control group. So if I control a neutral creep that I want to hotkey to a group it wasn't before, I'll hold control and press 2 to hotkey it to my second group selection. Since we're already in the settings, there's a few other changes you might want to make. Since you already know how to center the camera on your hero by double tapping the hotkey, I recommend disabling Move Camera on Respawn. It's useful to remind you that you're alive, but as long as you have sound enabled, there's an audio cue that lets you know. You should probably turn it off because if your camera moves upon respawning, it might lead to accidentally teleporting to the wrong location instead of where you actually want it to go. Speaking of teleports, I highly recommend enabling Teleport Requires Stop, stop being the S key by default. This is to prevent yourself from accidentally canceling your teleport with a move or spell command when you think it's going to be done in time. I would also enable Channeled Abilities Requires Stop so you don't accidentally stop your super important teamfight ultimate ability by right-clicking the ground afterwards. You should also probably enable the double tap ability to self-cast option, that way if you need to cast a healing spell on yourself, you can press the hotkey twice instead of having to click it once and click on your hero. And I'd also turn on the holding Alt shows neutral spawn boxes and holding Alt shows tower attack range options. That's really important because you can better see if you're out of attack range, if you're about to block a neutral camp, and other things like that. And that's about all we need to cover right now for hotkeys. If you guys want to dive in deeper to those, you can watch an older video that I have. There are tons of hotkey settings, you can customize them exactly to the way that you want them, but we can't cover them all in this video. In the next Dodo Basics video, we're going to be covering the user interface in depth. Stay tuned.